Hello everybody. A few real Ghostbuster Kenner classics on the screen right now. This group of toys were released exclusively at Walmart starting a couple years ago. I think it was 2020 when the Ghostbusters Afterlife was supposed to release as part of like a cross promotion or a side-by-side promotion with the original Ghostbusters cartoon toys and the new movie that was coming out. And I think it was just geared towards the 30, 40 something fans of real Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters back in the 80s, and kind of tapping into that nostalgia, and I was all about it. I picked up everything you see here. This is actually my fourth copy of the figures because there were actually three variations of the cards on the figures. There was one that said who you gonna call, there was one that didn't say who you're gonna call with the larger blister or bubble, and then there was a version with a shorter blister. So I have all three, and those are all in a storage bin. And then these, and I bought Stay Puft and Slimer. I might have two Slimers, and they're both in the package. I didn't open one up. I did open a Stay Puft up, and then the oh my gosh, I can't remember his name. Fearsome Flush, and then the ghost eye with the eye. I can't remember his name. Came out and they almost instantly went on clearance. So I was able to pick up a one to open and then one to keep closed. So the hardest thing to find was the Ecto one. It actually, you could find it online, okay? And I did buy one online like 6 or 7 months ago or something like that. And it was really cool to find it online and to order it and everything. And that was not exactly the way I wanted to experience it. I was glad that I bought it and I kept it sealed and everything. And I was going to buy another one so that I could open it up. I wanted to find another one on the shelf. And for months, I've had another one in my shopping cart on Walmart's app, just in case it was seeming like I wasn't going to be able to get one in the store. So recently on the Facebook Ghostbuster groups, people were showing that they were showing up in stores. So I ended up going to a Walmart yesterday to check for some Funko Pops, and lo and behold, they had two sitting on the shelf, and it was an incredible experience. It was great to see again, and that was part of the experience of these toys for me. It was not only having the toy that I had when I was a child, but also being able to see it on the shelf, and that enjoyment and that excitement of seeing them. And I was, as a little kid from, 84, whenever these came out, I was a fan of the real Ghostbusters line. And I remember always being confused about why they didn't look the same as the live action figures. The color palettes were different. They made them extremely cartoony. They didn't have the same voices. And it was just confusing to me as a child. And as an adult, I understand more why they made the decisions that they did, and also didn't understand why they called it the real Ghostbusters. And through them being re-released, I learned a lot of that. Becoming a part of the toy community, I learned a lot more about the history of these figures, and not the Funimation, but there was actually a Ghostbusters cartoon that was out, Filmation. There was actually a Ghostbusters cartoon that was out in the 80s, and it was Ghostbusters, so there was actually like a rights issue with the title, so they had to call it the real Ghostbusters. And it was just really interesting to learn all this stuff, and to know that there were other people out there that were still really passionate about these figures. And as far as I know, they didn't use the exact same molds. People have done comparisons with these and the original ones, and it seems like they're slightly different, but just a little bit. Not enough for me to have a problem with it. Like the G.I. Joes, when they've done the retro G.I. Joes, they're completely different figures. They have a similar old school card, yet they didn't have the same, the same joint movement. They didn't have the same stance. They were a little bit taller, a little bit skinnier. They just weren't the same. And until they started coming out with the O-rings, it just didn't work for me. Fearsome plush. And so I'm delighted that I was able to experience getting these toys again at the store, because I've mentioned in other videos about how I lost a storage unit in 2012, and that was a really hard situation, and all of my most of my stuff was in there, and that was really, really hard, including a cassette tape of me speaking when I was a little kid. And my grandparents were in the cassette tape, and it was, back then we had this like little black cassette player, and had this set of buttons right on the front, record, pause, play, stop, all that stuff. And the cassette would, like, the little door would open, and you put the cassette in, you shut it, and then and you could record people's voices, and there's audio of my mom asking me to speak, and all I was saying, I had a toy in my hand apparently, and I was just saying Egon over and over and over, and just saying it in different ways, and just playing with that word. I was probably 2 years old, maybe 1.5 or 2 years old, and understanding what I was doing at that point and the way I was speaking is something called echolalia. And that was really interesting to hear. And I'm glad that I got a chance to experience that cassette tape, because that was in my storage unit. And there weren't videos of me as a child. We didn't have a video camera, and that was just a very telling thing that I was able to experience. And I remember it, I was saying Egon, Egon, Egon. And I just kept repeating it over and over and over. And I'll save more about that another time. And it's just, these Ghostbuster toys connect a lot of things for me. It was when I went over to one of my friend's house, the first time I ever went over to his house, we were in first grade, that in the basement that we played with Ghostbusters toys. He had the firehouse. There's a lot of sentimentality and connectedness that Ghostbusters brings to me. And the fact that Kenner brought these back out the way that they did was extremely joyful for me, and I am very thankful. I'm very, very thankful. And being able to find the Ecto one yesterday, and being able to sit here and open them up, it's really special. So just wanted to share a little bit of that before I just went into this, because the toys, as I say on my Instagram and Twitter profiles, and I think even in my YouTube, it's cards and toys are two of my soothing joys, and there's a lot to that. And they feel like they're more to me than just pieces of plastic. And another thing, when I was a child, I would play with my toys somewhat. I would more pose them and look at them and look at the construction and stare at them and wonder how they were made, and notice the variations between the different toys that were released of the same figure or the same character, and the discrepancies. I would just look, and I would memorize those things as a child. And it's just it's an interesting thing, and it's something that I've always found joy in. I've always found joy in connecting with the toys, experiencing them, in the re-releases and how close and faithful they could get to the re-releases. And I'm just over the moon about these Ghostbusters, real Ghostbusters Kenner Classics. And look at that. And I guess with the box artwork, it's pretty close to the original from what I've seen. There's so many comparisons of this. I'm not doing anything new right now. I'm just, you know, making a record of my experience of opening this, more or less. And there are, you know, Geek Dad Life, for instance, you know, would be one, or it would be one that you'd want to check out his videos, or Ghostbusters News. You know, they do incredible and accurate and detailed comparison and unboxings, especially like early on, you know, when the thing first comes out. They're usually the first ones to get it. Or, you know, Pixel Dan, those kinds of guys, you know. So I love watching their videos, and it's been a joy being able to hear other people my age go nuts for this stuff. And I just love hearing about it, you know. My contribution and my knowledge of this stuff is limited mostly to my experience with it, and not necessarily to educate. It's just an enthusiasm about it. Let's see. And we're opening it up. Here we go. There she is. Ecto 1. This is the seat. All right. Look at this. There was a point at a toy show, the North Dallas Toy Show, 3 years ago, when one of the guys that's always there had a Ecto 1 and all 4 of the Ghostbusters and a Stay Puft. And they were all from the 80s, you know, it was before this came out. And he won $100 for it. Look at that. And I didn't grab it. Oh, man. Yes. Hell yeah. That's so cool. Unfreaking believable. Oh, man. This is it. This brings it home. So freaking cool. Look at that. And they, you know, when you watch some of the reviews from some of the other guys and they show the differences between the other Ecto 1s, because there are a few, you know, it's cool to know that you know, you can tell what the differences are. And just to have a brand new one does it. Yeah, this is it, man. This is so freaking cool to me. So cool. So thank you, Kenner, for doing this. And it comes with the ghost. It comes with the ghost, I should say. Unless you want to, you know, humanize Ecto 1, which I guess you could. Some assembly required. Huh. Well. Oh, I had to move the... Yeah, okay. You have to move the tailpipe over, because it'll lock it in place, see? It'll lock the rear axle in place. See, when it's in that position, can't really move the rear axle, and then when you switch it over, it's nice and rolly. Look at that, man. Come on. Awesome. Kenner, thank you so much. Here's the stickers. Yeah, buddy. Look at that. Yeah, all right. Getting all decaled up, looking correct. It's all about the correctness. Da 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 da. Saw Ghostbusters Afterlife 6 times in the theater. I saw it 3 times in Vienna. And one of those times I saw it dubbed in German, which was really freaking cool. So 4 goes on the front. And it was interesting to watch it in English in Vienna because they speak German there. And they speak it very well. Or they speak English very well. And it was funny experiencing a movie. It's off a little bit. That's okay. It's slightly off. That's all right. Anyway, watching a movie in English in another country, because a lot of the jokes people weren't laughing at, and I was like, what is going on? And then when I watched it in German, everyone was roaring with laughter. And it just goes to show that while people can speak other languages very well, there's a lot is lost in translation. The jokes, the punchlines, the humor, it can get lost. And it was something that was wild to experience. Look at that. Looking fresh, looking great, looking perfect. All right, now we gotta put number 3 on the back. Getting it right. And you gotta look correct. Can't be busting ghosts with jacked up decals, And all right. That's a little crooked. That's okay. That's all right. Number 6, you got the big cartoonish looking window. Let's go, baby. Come on. Ra-da-da-da-da-do. Dum-dum. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right. Now we're looking correct. Some assembly required, and that was not bad at all. No stickers left. Back in the box. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you got. Not bad, Kenner. Not bad at all. Let's see. Get the door open. Frick, yes. Where are you guys? There we go. Not bad. Not bad at all. I'm not even gonna mess with the grappling hook or the ghost catcher thing right now. That doesn't necessarily even appeal to me at the moment. I just wanted this. Let's get Ray up top, or Winston up top. I would love, since they're making more Ghostbusters. Oh shit, it doesn't even. Since they're making more Ghostbusters movies, I would love if they just continued with all the rest of the Kenner Classics figures. I'm not gonna bother. I don't want to break it, but you know, don't stretch this thing too far. So that would be awesome if they just continued, you know, did the Fright features and did the glow ones and just all the different ones, all the different, you know, I would love to have those. I would absolutely love to have those. So freaking cool. All right, Winston and Egon out to catch some ghosts. So pretty cool. I would love to be able to have an entire collection of re-releases. I would love to experience the entire hunt again, and I am delighted that I got to experience what I did, and I am so thankful that the Ghostbusters movie, after the Ghostbusters Afterlife was made. I am so thankful that I found a community of people that love Ghostbusters and connect with it like I did and do. And I am so thankful that Kenner decided to do this. And it just brings me so much joy. And I'm just thankful. I am so thankful. And that's it. That's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. That's a long one. And I hope to see you again soon. And share more of my interests and my joys with trading cards and toys.